Welcome to the best sports betting show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today, and I am your host, Andy Lang. It is Friday. Weekend board is loaded. We got UFC, we have MLB, we've got WNBA, and more. We're covering it all today, so you're going to be ready to fire off into Saturday and Sunday. Let's close the week strong and stack some wins. Gianni is recording UFC, so you get another one of Andy's patented Steam reports. Buckle up. Tokyo Brandon's going to join us. We're going to talk Mariners and the Tigers. Marco's going to give us his thoughts on the Phillies and Padres, plus the Dream and the Fever. Andrew Babakitis is going to join us to talk the UFC fight card. And then we're going to break down the Chiefs season win total, 11.5. This was the easiest research I've ever had to do on a team. Dan already knows where I'm going with this one. So let's get started. Hit the like button. You guys know what to do. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's take a look at the Steam report. I'm actually going to go to basketball here real quick. And if you're taking a look at Summer League, money's come in on Atlanta versus Miami. Miami opened up -5. That's down to -3. A little bit of money has come in on Detroit. A little bit of money has come in on Charlotte. Looks like money definitely has come in on Toronto. They opened up at -5.5. They're up to -6.5. And money has come in on Golden State. They opened at -3.5, up to -4.5. And if we're looking at WNBA, I mean, the Seattle opens up at -16.5. -16.5 against the poor Connecticut Sun. You're thinking, well, no way money's coming in on a -16.5. Oh, yeah. They're all the way up to -18.5. They are fading the Connecticut Sun, who are really, really struggling. Not a whole lot going in on baseball. Money's come in a little bit on Washington. Both games that the White Sox are playing, money has come in on them, and money has come in on the Kansas City Royals. What an icky! Actually let's bring in Tokyo Brandon because I have to get his thoughts on this. Bring in Tokyo Brandon here. Tokyo, how many days can you say money's coming in on the Royals and both of the White Sox games? This feels like it doesn't happen very often. Do you agree with those moves?
Oh, it does not happen very often. But at least it's not the Colorado Rockies. Actually, the Royals are not that horrible of a team, and Waka's not that bad of a pitcher. I'm not really surprised to see money coming in on him. We don't really know what to expect from Senga. Senga's pretty solid, but he's been off for a month. So what was the other team?
The Royals, and then both of the games on the White Sox. I know I heard you. I heard you talking about the White Sox on total basis earlier today, so I know you do agree with that one.
Yes, the White Sox, especially in their game 2, I like them. The White Sox are actually a team that were expected to be the worst team in baseball this season, and they're not. So that goes to the Colorado Rockies. But I think there are 2 other teams that are actually worse than the White Sox. The White Sox can hit pretty well, and their bullpen's not that bad. So I do understand the money coming in for White Sox and for the Royals. Actually, if you told me that money was coming in on the Rockies, I would be flabbergasted.
It is not. It's all Cincinnati money. There's no 1 penny coming in on the Colorado Rockies. No, a little bit of under on the Rockies and Reds here.
Yes.
But, yes. The chat has sniffed this out. Happy Scooble Day, everybody. We are going to talk Mariners and the Tigers. I know the Tigers have been very polarizing team in the betting markets this year. So let's talk about this game today. Of course, we have Scooball going for the Tigers. We have Castillo going for the Mariners. And, of course, Detroit is going to be a favorite. But, wow, -260 with an over-under of 7. Tokyo, what's your breakdown on this game? Nope. Did we lose Tokyo? Brandon, we can't hear
you're
anybody.
Muted, Brandon.
You can't hear me?
Now we hear you.
We're good.
Okay. The Tigers are probably the best mediocre MLB team in history, and they have a great record for being mediocre. So, but yeah, there's no doubt that Scooble is an absolute stud. He is the man. I have him ranked number 1 out of 220 starting pitchers in Major League Baseball. There's no doubt he's a ridiculously good talent. But let's take a look at how these teams match up together. Yes, I do have the Tigers with slightly better lineup here, but still, I have them only ranked 16 out of 30 teams. Both bullpens right around the Mendoza mediocre line. And Skubal obviously is a great pitcher. Louis Castillo going for the Mariners. I have him ranked. I curve my starting pitchers to 30 so I can compare them with bullpens and batting. And I have Castillo ranked 14 out of 30. So a little bit above mediocre. But what I really like about this matchup is how Castillo has handled these Tiger batters in his history. If you take a look at how he's handled them throughout his history, he has a 235 batting average against and a 585 OPS. Now, since I was a scout for a major league team, I always take OPS 750 over under as a tell whether this pitcher is good or bad against these batters. 585 is incredible. So I think Castillo will be able to handle these batters at least a little bit. If you look at Castillo's recent starts, he's been pretty good. He had one clunker, and the rest he's been pretty solid. Taking a look at the team totals here is the way I'm going to go because I really don't trust Seattle on a side. But for a team total, I think the Detroit Tigers team total at 4.5 is way too high. I think this is going to be one of those 2-1, 3-2 kind of games. I don't even know if Detroit's going to win. But with Skubal, what is he, 10-2 or something like that? So I'm not dumb enough to bet against Skubal. But I do want to use the fact that Castillo has a great history against these batters. So I think the Tigers 4.5 under would be the way to go in this game.
We have a question from CryptoChrome45. He says, do you like Baltimore over the Marlins today or even Dean Kramer strikeout props? Any of those on your radar today, Brandon?
Let's take a look. Miami is one of those teams that actually hits quite well, and Baltimore's been hitting quite well too. I've never been a fan of Kremer though, unfortunately. Let's see, we got Cabrera going for Miami, is that right? Yeah. So the way these turn out, yeah, I have Miami a slight favorite here as far as my numbers are concerned. As far as starting pitchers are concerned, I have Kremer and Cabrera pretty equal. Miami's got a great bullpen. I mean, they're one of those teams that everyone thinks is just crap. They're not as crap as you think. Their bullpen is really good. They have a lot of young talent that nobody's ever heard of. Baltimore does have a slight advantage in the lineup, but overall, I see Miami as a slight favorite in this game. And looking at the line right now, they're plus 115. I wouldn't chew you out for taking a plus 115 with the Marlins today.
We don't want to be chewed out by Brandon for a bet.
Chew you like tobacco.
Titan CT, any thoughts on Rangers over 8.5? A little bit of plus money here on this game. What's your thoughts on the Rangers?
The Rangers and Astros. Yeah. Leader. I'm not, last time I mispronounced his name, everyone chewed me out. I'm going to call him Leiter. So last time he pitched, well, not the last time he pitched, the whole season he's pitched, he's not been very good. McCullers is a guy who used to be an absolute stud, came back from injury. He hasn't been performing very well as of late. I do like Leiter's walks. He walks a lot of guys. So if you can get his walk prop over 1.5, I think he'll definitely walk. Well, nothing's definite in sports betting, but I think he is a candidate to walk at least 2 batters in this game. Looking at the lineups, they're both top 5 lineups in MLB currently. So the way I do my lines, I current form is a big part of my cap. And both of these teams in current form are top 5 right now. Texas's bullpen is awful right now. And Houston's is pretty average. And both starting pitchers, I have them around the average line. So yeah, if anything, I would definitely go with an over in this game. Is it 9? Was it 9? 9 might be a little high. I would try to either alt that or get maybe a team total. If one of these teams is 3.5, maybe take the over on that. But 9 is a dicey proposition here. I'm seeing 8.5, so I wouldn't be shy from 8.5 in this game.
Andrew, what last question here for you, Brandon? Andrew was wondering
Sure.
if we take the bullpens out of that Detroit Tigers game, the Tigers and Mariners, would you look at maybe a first 5 under, a no-run first inning. I'm looking at the Detroit Tigers. It's a little juicy, but, for example, the Tigers under 2.5, minus 154 for their team total. Mariners, half a run for their team total in the first 5. Is that something that you would look at, or you're more comfortable with the full game in this one?
Well, I do have a 5% play today, guys. So go grab my 5% play before I talk about that. But yes, actually, Scooble's numbers against these batters are not exactly great. Again, I'm a little shy to bet against Scooble, but he does have an over 750 OPS in his career against these batters, albeit the sample size is a little small. However, I think the Astros can score 1 run in the first 5 innings on him. So I would not be shy to take the over 0.5 in the first 5 if that's what their team total is. Regarding the Tigers team total under 2.5 in the first 5, I wouldn't mind that either. But I think there's more value in taking 4.5 for the full game. I don't see the logic in taking the bullpen out of the game. I wouldn't argue with it, but I just don't see the logic in doing that. I think it's much more difficult to get them to score 5 in the full game than it would be to get for them to score 3 in the first 5. So either way, I would go with that. I haven't seen what the odds are for either one. I'd take the one with the better odds in that situation.
I was just getting ready to say, I was like, anytime they give me over half a run, shouldn't you just take it? And then I'm looking at Scooble's game log, and he's got 14 straight innings of shutout ball. Would have lost in his last 2 starts. It's it's just crazy trying to.
It's tough. I hate going against him, and I hate putting money saying that a team is going to do something against him, because he is the best pitcher in all of MLB, hands down, and I don't think there's any argument. But these batters have gotten to him before. So if anyone's going to do it, it's these guys. Maybe 1 run there, but I would much prefer to take the Tigers team total under either first 5 or full game.
All right. You still mentioned, you beat me to it. You mentioned you got a 5% best bet that is up. Tell us about that. And you got some really good streaks going on here, Tokyo. Number 1. You made it to the number 1 spot this year. I had no doubts you would end up there, plus 95 units. So congratulations on that. You have a promo code TB7, 7-day pass. So really tell us about this 5% play. I love when you guys have a 5% play. We got 2 5% plays to talk about on the show. Tell us about yours.
Yes, I do have a 5% play in Major League Baseball today. So far this month, I'm 1-1 on my 5% plays. But in my history at WagerTalk, I've been number 1 all sports profit 4 of the last 5 years, including this year. So I'm a pretty good guy to ride with when I have a 5% play out. WagerTalk's doing several specials for me. 7 days for $69 if you use code TB7. They're also giving a special deal the rest of 2025 for less than $3 a day, and that's no code required. So if you go to mywt.buzz/TB page, you will see all of those deals. And I do have a free play up today in Major League Baseball as well at that link. So you can get all of that stuff if you visit my page, number 1 capper for the 5 last years.
Love it. Thank you very much, Brandon. Continued success.
Take it easy.
Good luck on that 5% play. Thanks for joining us. All right, thanks for joining us live, guys. And if you're watching after the fact, thank you. Let's get you ready for the weekend. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You get notified when all the shows come out. We're like a few people away from that 210,000 mark. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Help get us to 210,000. We'd really like to do that. So we're going to bring on Marco, and then after that, we've got an extended version of All Around the World. Dan's going to join us. We got some lacrosse plays. We got soccer. We got baseball. But first, let's talk to Marco D'Angelo, and we're going to talk some WNBA as well as MLB. Marco, how are you?
Doing good. How are you guys doing today?
It's a beautiful day. I was staring at my collared shirts, and then I was like, nope, I'm wearing the new WagerTalk hoodie. I know it's hot outside. I know it's summer, But it just looks so good. And they were like, "Wear the collared shirt." When I was, no, I'm wearing the hoodie. So it may not look the most professional. I don't care. It looks awesome and it's super comfortable. So
But it's casual Friday. You're good. Don't we have casual Friday?
yeah, we got like no baseball coming up. Like sports are they're taking days off. I can take days off on a collared shirt. So, all right, Marco, let's talk the Phillies and the Padres. Suarez is going for Philly Burger for the Padres. How do you break this game down?
Well, it's two words. It's Ranger Suarez. This guy has been an absolute beast for the Phillies. He's allowed 0 or 1 run in 8 of his last 9 starts. Oh, and that one start that he gave up more than 1 run, he gave up 2 runs over 7 innings and was on the short end of a 2-1 final score. Just the opposite for the Padres pitcher, Berger. He has made 5 starts. He's averaging going just 4 1/3 innings in those starts, and he's had some control issues. He's given up 10 walks in just 17 innings of work over his last 17 innings of work. That's a concern. You don't want to be putting base runners on free passes against a team that's got a pitcher as hard as Suarez is. And then you look at the Padres themselves, they're struggling to score runs. They just completed a 4-game series where they scored a grand total of 10 runs. That is bad in any 4-game series. But when you consider the 4-game series came against the Arizona pitching staff, that's really bad. So I just don't want any part of the Padres in this particular matchup with a pitcher as hot as Suarez. So I'm going to look to him. I'll give you kind of a side play as well if you want a bonus play. This is not the one I'm going to give you, but Suarez, since 2024, when he's on the road and he gave up 1 run or less in his last game, he's 8-0 to the under in the next game. So pretty powerful stat there. But I am going to go with Philadelphia. I'm not going to put the game in the hands of the bullpen because I really don't trust the Philly bullpen. I'll put it in Suarez's hands, and I'll take him first 5 innings. I'll lay the half a run first 5 innings with Philadelphia to get the job done tonight in San Diego.
Like that look there. Yeah, when you want to support a starting pitcher, take a look at the first 5. Let's move to the WNBA. You got the Dream versus the Fever. Fever are the line's kind of jumping around here. I'm seeing -1.5 pop up. 2.5 opened up. The Fever, listen, they play 20 minutes from my house. They just can't seem to string together a good winning streak. 2 wins in a row. That's their best winning streak. They've lost 2 in a row. Meanwhile, you got the Dream, 3rd in offense, 12-7 this year. You got the Fever's very, very small favorites. How do you break this game down?
Well, you look at this game, and they are 2 different teams. They're when Caitlin Clark's on the floor and when she's not. And twice this year, she's missed a stretch of games. She just came back from missing 5 games on this last stretch. Come back, and how many times we talk about in different sports, you hear me talk about the injured player theory. We like to take teams that first game that a star is out because the rest of the team will step it up a notch and compensate for the loss. Well, there's a flip side to that angle, and that angle is when the star comes back, I like to go against that team for a couple reasons. One, you're going to have an inflated line when the star comes back, as we saw in the last game in which she came back. But also, you had the team playing one way, and if they were playing good, now you're changing the chemistry again because it's a total different look when she's on the floor and when she's not. Some actually say Indiana's a better team. They play better as a team, let's word it that way, when she's not on the floor. Because when she is in the game, everything goes through her. When she's not on the floor, they get all 5 players involved. She came back the other night against Golden State, an embarrassing loss for Indiana, 80-61. They went 3-2 while she was out, and they won the 3rd game of that 5-game stretch when they blew out the Las Vegas Aces, 81-54. Well, after that blowout win, 2 days later, throw my favorite saying out there, they were fat and sassy. LA Sparks were coming to town. team that's underachieved all year, and they ended up losing 89-87. Well, then the next game you got Caitlin Clark back, and you had that mental letdown or disruption of the flow. They lose again. I can tell you that the practices, all the reports I got, it was a pretty heated practice. Coach was not happy with that performance. I think second game back with Caitlin Clark, you're going to see a better game tonight from the team. Indiana shot just 31% in that game 2 days ago. You'll see a better performance tonight. And last four opponents, they have held 3 of the 4 to 37% or less shooting. Indiana has played some good defense. I like Indiana tonight against the Atlanta Dream. Lay the 2 points.
Nice. Lay the 2 points. What's thought on your aces this year so far?
Well, it's been a season where they had some injuries to start the season. Megan Gufferson played her first game actually last night. One of their big offseason signings that was going to be a major player in the team this year. Unfortunately, you don't have to deal with this in the NBA maternity leave. So that took two key pieces out of the team, and then they had some transition over that. And Asia Wilson has missed a few games this year, once with a concussion. She missed last night's game with a wrist injury. She should be back this weekend. But I think with Megan coming back last night, it gives them a little more depth. And they just signed last week Smith from Dallas. She has played spectacular for the Aces in the 3 games that she's been on the roster, and she's still, learning to play with her teammates. She's actually started the last 2 games. Look for this team to make a run down the stretch. They're still, I say, 4th best team in the WNBA.
People are asking if can you open the deli, please?
The deli will be coming back for football season. A little tough with baseball to do a bunch of games over the weekend in advance with pitching staffs, and I don't make a baseball play till I see the final scores from the night before, because that's going to help dictate for me whether I'm looking at a first 5-inning wager or if I'm going a full game based on who's available out of the bullpen that didn't get used last night.
All right, Marco, you have a 5% play up, and you don't do too many of those. So everyone pay attention. Tell us about your 5%.
Yeah, we've released since February of 2024, I've had nearly close to 1,500 plays. Only 42 of those plays have been 5% plays, and we're 29-12 with them. I've got one of those special plays tonight, and it's got a couple subsets in this game that are outstanding. One is 9-0, and one is 10-1 or 11-1. I don't have my notes in front of me, but outstanding situation with the game. You'll get the full detailed breakdown when you purchase the play. You can get that game for $35. Or for $4 more, you can get everything I have today at WagerTalk. Or, of course, you can always pick up a 7-day package long-term, get every play we have, save yourself some money. But check that out, 29-12 with those 5% plays since February of 2024, guys. That's over 19 months.
Love it. Marco D'Angelo, good luck on that 5%, man. Whenever you have a 5% play, hey, buckle up. Let's play it. So thanks very much for joining us, Marco. Have a great weekend.
You too. Let's cash some tickets, guys.
All right. Great offer going right now. 3 days for just $49. You get full access to the handicapper of your choice. But wait, it gets better. You can take the same expert all 3 days, or you can mix match it. We've been talking about flex passes all week long. You can try someone new each day. You can try a new sport. It's completely up to you. You've got the power to tailor make it to your style and your schedule. Sharp insight, winning plays, total flexibility, all for under $50. You can take advantage of Marco's 5% play. You can take advantage of Tokyo Brandon's 5% play. That's the beauty about the flex passes. You get to pick what handicapper. So take advantage of that. 3 days for just $49. Save $20, limited time offer. All right, let's go all around the world. Let's do some free plays, and we're going to get a couple of live plays from Dan. Let's first go to the big board here and go with the Blue Jays at the Athletics over 5.5 in the first five. Toronto third in batting average. Severino 7.04 ERA at home, and it's hot temperatures in Sacramento. Last night in Sacramento, temperatures were hot. Ball was flying. It was 3-3 after 5 innings. We're also looking at the Rangers at the Astros. Yurfee, this is a special from Ralph Michaels. Rangers 6-0 Yurfee run, scored a first inning run in 5 out of those 6 games. Houston, nice little 2-0 run in the Yurfee as well. And then Pavlos, a plus 525 in the women's Euros. Italy versus Spain, draw in regulation. Here's the deal. Both teams will advance to the next round, but both teams get a better seed with a win or a draw. So in a weird situation, both teams kind of have motivating factors to have a draw. And the last meeting was in October, and it ended 1-1. So you're getting insane value on this plus 525 for this game to end in a draw. All right, Dan, come on in here. Let's talk a little bit of lacrosse. Let's get people ready. Baseball's going to have the all-star break, so we got to focus in on some of these other sports. Let's talk a player prop, and we got some numbers that are completely out of whack.
Yeah, and full disclosure, Andy, these are two that, I suggested, hey, we should load these for clients with you. You have a team of handicappers that does, all these different sports. I'm the lacrosse department. And we've kind of been up and down. We haven't really been able to go on a run, but when stats stand out to me, I figured, hell, Andy, why don't we give these ones out for free to the live viewers here on WagerTalk Today. So, hey, folks, just a little thanks. Hit that like button and subscribe. We're so close to 210,000 subscribers. So free picks, analysis. We answer your questions in the chat here live. More reasons than ever to hit that like button and make sure that you're subscribed. We do appreciate it. The play for me tonight, Andy, in lacrosse action, and you can get this on any of the regulated sports books. Tom Schreiber of the Utah Archers. We're taking him to go over 2.5 points, and we're taking him to go over 1.5 goals. The 2.5 points, you're looking at like minus 113. It's actually plus money for the over 1.5 goals. And why is that? This is one of the best guys, former MVP in the league. I won't belabor the folks with the point because they just want the play, but starkly amazing to me, Andy, that this guy has played 7 years in the PLL. So every year that the PLL has been around, Tom Schreiber has been here. 59 games he's played, Andy, and he has never not recorded a single point until 2 weeks ago. That was the first time he was ever blanked at any game ever. I mean, that's longevity that you just cannot overstate. So 7 years, he's never not recorded a point. He's coming off a game where he did that. That's why we're seeing these low numbers. And the injury report's pretty stark for the Utah Archers. So Tom Schreiber, if the Archers want to get back on their winning ways, they're back-to-back league champions, one of the best teams in the league. If they want to get back to those winning ways, it figures that Tom Schreiber is going to be a big part of that. So we're taking Tom to go over 2.5 points tonight. Couldn't decide on that and his goals. So at that plus money, let's sprinkle some units on both of them. And let's have Captain America, great nickname, by the way, have a big night tonight in Premier Lacrosse League action on ESPN+. That's the play for me, Andy.
Yeah, you don't get the nickname Captain America for nothing.
If you're not pretty good.
You earned that. You earned the nickname Captain America. All right, Tom Schreiber there. Awesome.
Take him over. Big Tom Schreiber
okay.
Fans tonight.
All right, let's bring in Andrew Babakitis, and then we're going to break down the Chiefs over or under 11.5 win totals. Andrew joining us from WestGate. Andrew, how's the handle been so far on this fight night? It's Derek Lewis, who I think is still a draw. I think people still like him, but curious if this card's bringing in a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty average for, a fight night. I would say it's not too chalky. I mean, there's a few big favorites, but other than that, there's some real bettable prices. So the handle's been pretty good. But I think people are definitely more looking forward to next week. And then the week after in Abu Dhabi, that's another really good card. So, we have 3 back-to-back cards that are, pretty solid. And during this time of year when it's only baseball, I think the handle is even higher than normal. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the card.
What's been some sharp action? I've seen this Derek Lewis line all over the place on some of the books out by me. So curious what you're taking money on in the main event.
Yeah, so we opened to share at minus 190. It's sitting $3 now, so I'm sure you guys can kind of tell where the action's been coming. Yeah, we took some early bets on to share. I wouldn't say anything overly respected, but clearly there's some respected money on that side in the market for it to move over 100 cents in the matter of, less than a week. But yeah, that's been a solid bet fight, and I'm sure there will be some takers day of on Derek Lewis because he's, a popular guy, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of knockout props on Derek Lewis fight day.
Any other fights where you're taking a lot of one-sided action?
One-sided action, I'd say. Let's see. We're getting a lot of Steve Garcia action, but we did get some respected buyback on Calvin Kattar. But I'd say a majority of the public action on that fight has been on that Garcia side. And then really, really good two-way action on the Walter Walker fight versus Kennedy. There's been sharp action on both sides of that fight. So, that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for the action on both sides. And, there's been some fights this week that it's been strong opinions on both sides. Those are probably the two main fights that I've seen so far.
It's funny you bring up that Garcia and Kattar fight. I always run a violence parlay by you, so let's do it. Get your thoughts on this one. I got two fights to go under 2.5 rounds. Kattar and Garcia is the first one, and then I'm going with Tokos and Tafa. Tafa's basically got one-shot knockout power, and that's it. He can get submitted on the ground. He has maybe 4 or 5 minutes of cardio, and then he's dead to the world. Tokos is terrible. This, to me, is a loser leaves town matchup. But one of these guys is just going to make a massive mistake, and the other one's going to get the finish. And then Kattar and Garcia. Garcia's got one-shot knockout power. He's been doing that for years. He's on a big winning streak. But as far as volume, Kattar's going to have the more volume, I think. And Garcia gets clipped every single fight. And if he does it against Kattar, I think Kattar can knock him out. I don't see this one going very long. I think somebody's chin gets touched pretty hard in this one. What's your take on Kattar, Garcia, and Tokos and Tafa under?
Yeah, it's funny you bring up that Kattar Garcia under. We did get hit pretty heavily on the under by a sharp customer, and we were all pretty surprised early because, just looking at it originally, you kind of just look at it and you're like, Calvin Kattar doesn't really get finished. He's pretty tough, and so is Steve Garcia. But yeah, the more I've looked into the fight, I definitely understand that play for sure. And yeah, there's some respected action behind it. And I think you won a 7-1 peaceful parlay last time we talked, or at least one of the big one of the.
Oh yeah, we did. Absolutely,
won, right?
We did, Andrew. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So yes, absolutely, we hit a 7-1 parlay. That's what we do around here.
I remembered. I had to shout you out for that. That was pretty awesome.
Thank you. All right, what's your favorite bet on this card?
Man, if I had to play anything, I hate just giving out what I'm saying, the sharp action. You know what? I think there has been some sharp action on this as well, but I'd say at this price, I think Wonder Boy, I like his chance at these odds, plus 350 you can get. I think if he's able to keep this standing, he should be able to, make this a close fight. He doesn't really get finished often. I know he got knocked out at the end of the last fight, but I think he's a tough out for everybody on the feet. And, this is a big step up in competition for Bonfim. So I'll say that as a long dog.
This was my favorite upset on the card. I'm with you lockstep, and we didn't even talk about it. Yeah, it's Stephen Thompson. He's just a much better striker than Bonfim. If Bonfim doesn't get him on the ground, Bonfim's a sitting duck, and he's got that weird karate style. So I'm with you 100% on that one. I love that underdog on Stephen Thompson there. So, all right, tell everyone what you got going on over at WestGate.
Right on, yeah. If you guys haven't followed me on X, I'm trying to get more of the content out with the little looks behind the counter. So yeah, follow me if you haven't. But over here at the book, I know it's kind of slow season, so we're ramping up getting the NFL content out there. We got the Wimbledon finals coming up. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, we're offering really fair splits and really fair limits. So if you haven't added us as a book, please stop by and, add us to your index of different books. This is definitely a book you want to be playing with. And like always, I appreciate you having me on and excited to talk 318 next week.
Yes, absolutely. Huge card next week. Andrew Babakitis for the WestGate. Thank you so much for doing this every Friday. Have a great weekend. All right, let's do it, Dan. Let's talk the Chiefs. We're going with the win total of 11.5. We're talking season win totals. In the comments section, let us know if you like the over-under on the Chiefs. Polarizing team. Lot going on with this Chiefs team. Or is there? Is there a lot going on with this team? Off-season moves. They did sign more, the left tackle. They added some D-line depth. I actually think this Rashid Rice coming back is going to completely make that offense like a juggernaut. PFF ranked their offense 14th. But the big thing for me is they've just become a defensive team. The PFF had them ranked second in defense. This isn't like the Tyreek Hill high-flying offense. We'll go through their schedule. They got some tough ones at up front. Back end gets a lot easier. They start Chargers, Eagles, at Giants, Ravens, at Jags, Lions, Raiders, Commanders, at Bills, at Broncos, and here's where it starts to slow down. Colts, at Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, at Titans, Broncos, and Raiders. Your thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, Andy, I know you and I are going to be disagreeing on this one because from other teams that we've talked about in division, I think it was the Denver Broncos that we did a preview on, and I am bullish on this division, yet I am bearish on the Kansas City Chiefs. I get it. They go over this every single year. It's been wash, rinse, repeat. But how many of those years, Andy, did they get guaranteed wins in their division? That ship has sailed. Every single team in this division has gotten better, in my opinion. Okay, you add the tackle. Kansas City Chiefs are the team in this division that has stayed the exact same. And if you're not always innovating, if you're not always raising your game, you're going to fall stagnant. And yes, that defense is stellar. Don't get me wrong. But how many times, Andy, do we see, when a playbook comes out on a team? This Kansas City, everyone talks about, Super Bowl hangovers. And why do we just make it agnostic for a team who's not only having a Super Bowl hangover, they're a team, Andy, who had a documentary following them around all last year because we're going to three-peat. We're going to be the first team to ever do it. And then all of that air comes out of those tires. Travis Kelce looks like a shell of himself, and I think the talking heads who were like, look at how fat Pat Mahomes looks. That's idiotic. Like, it's the offseason, and Pat Mahomes is never a pinnacle. He's not walking around with 8-pack. Pat Mahomes will be just fine. But I just think it's a fact that this team who has beat up on every little brother in this division is finally going to get punched back. And you laid out the schedule there well. You'll say that the Colts is a guaranteed win. I'm not so sure because I think the Colts are going to be a little bit better this year. But outside of, the Colts, will put them on the list. Titans and Jaguars are the only games that you say those are guaranteed wins for this team. In my opinion, you can say, they're going to beat up on the Raiders. We don't know what the new Raiders are going to look like with Pete Carroll. So I'm pretty strong on this one, Andy, towards the under 11.5 wins. Not only do I think they're going to be around 10 wins this year, I don't think they win this division. That's the gauntlet that I have tossed down. If you're giving me the field versus Kansas City Chiefs in this division, I'll take that bet all day long. Tell the folks why I'm wrong, because I'm sure the chat is being like, Dan, what the hell are you talking about?
No, we're kind of split here. Wolfeye says Chiefs overrated. Boo Taylor Swift. There's your analysis.
That's honestly under. That's
right.
All you need to say. Under. There you go.
I could just be the complete villain of the show and be like, who I love? Angel Reese and Taylor Swift. I want to go. Those are my two favorite celebrities. Okay, I'm just going over 6-1 on this over with Mahomes as the starter. I can't argue the Super Bowl hangover. That has really seemed to be true. I just think every time I get a Mahomes and Andy Reid team, I'm taking the over. It's like Jalen Hurts. Any team that has Jalen Hurts, I'm just going to be a buyer on.
And for what it's worth, I was also on the under 11.5 for the Eagles. So
Yes.
for me, it just, when these numbers start getting up there crazy, you're assuming everything goes perfectly right for the team, and I get it. The Chiefs cash this every single year, Andy. So I could look like an idiot, but I'm not the person who's been calling my shot on the Chiefs every single year. You know, a lot of people have said, oh, they're going to regress. Oh, they're going to regress. I haven't been that guy. But this year, I think you are going to see, because before it was they got to beat up on the entire division. I don't think that's the reality personally anymore. And that's where the lean towards the under, or the play on the under, comes in for me, is this division has gotten markedly better. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs still have Andy Reid, they still have Pat Mahomes, but this division isn't just the little brother they get to beat up on anymore. They're punching back.
And the other big case you can make for the under is, like, how many crazy one-score games did they win last year? I mean, you could have made the case.
I guess,
but
I have to, Andy, be a fly on the wall in the officiating meetings and the NFL script writers, because if I'm in there and I'm a fly on the wall for the NFL script writers, I'm gonna know if they go over or under, right? I need to see the script.
The script writers. I love it. I hate to be the guys that have season-ending injuries when they read that script for the first time. It's just got to be.
I know. You're like, shit. You're at the table read, and you're like, what? I'm out week 1? Messed up.
Pulled hamstring in week 2. It's a contract year. So my take on the close one-score games is that's what great teams do. That they win the close games. They plan for it. They're ready for it. So I'm just blindly taking Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes to do well. It's gone over 6 out of 7 games. I'm in on the 11.5. Your point makes all the sense in the world. I can't argue with everything, but we are going to be in disagreement on this one.
They have to comment below. This is the thing you comment about today. Drop below in the comments, Kansas City Chiefs over or under. And also, if you're so inclined, leave your WagerTalk username, and you might just be winning some free action, like some of our winners who commented below, like Alec, like S Nows or Snows, like our man Chris. All 3 of these people, all they did, they commented below after the video went live. They added their WagerTalk username, and now they're getting some free action on the house from WagerTalk. You can do the same. Comment below while you're down there. Make sure you subscribe too.
You know, all right. The strategist, I get where you're going with this. An SF Niner, we need a lady handicapper. We might have to talk to Kelly and Ariel. We might have to get some spot appearances.
Might be on something.
I'll make some calls and see.
Yeah, we know some people. We know some
people. Betting, maybe the betting queen. Maybe we can get the. Maybe we can get the. All right, if we get the betting queen to come on here, then you guys, then every single person has to subscribe.
We have Taylor Mathis come on. She'll walk around as a guest.
Yes,
that could be a move.
Yes.
Should we have
all right.
Comment below. Should we have Taylor Mathis do live walking bets on WagerTalk today? Let us know. It's not
a busy week next week. We can put in some time doing that. So, all right. Thanks guys for watching. It's been a great week. Next week, no baseball, but you bet we're going to be here giving you all kinds of information in sports to help you win. Make sure you check out our Flex Pass special for $49. It's $20 off. Works for any handicapper that you want. You can use one handicapper. You can use multiple ones. Check out Tokyo Branded and Marco's 5% plays. They mentioned those. Let's have a great weekend. Good luck on your bets. We'll be back Monday. Take care.